And on last week's SmackDown, Rey Mysterio captured the United States Championship despite not being Austin Theory's original opponent for the night. Theory had taken out Santos Escobar, who earned a title shot by winning the US Championship Invitational, but fans should have never expected Escobar to win the gold. A tenured member of WWE's creative team told Ringside News that Rey Mysterio was always scheduled to win the title on SmackDown, despite WWE advertising Escobar for the match for weeks. The source did not clarify whether WWE had Mysterio decided on as the next champion before the US title invitational, or whether the call was made after Escobar had already won the tournament. After the match, Mysterio celebrated with Escobar in the LWO, and while fans may have been shocked by Rey's win, this was a title change that had been planned for some time. But what do you think of this? Are you excited to see Rey as champion, or should Escobar have been the one to dethrone Theory? Let us know in the comments. From last week's SmackDown to this week, as this Friday's show will be a stacked event in Toronto, including a match between Sheamus and Edge. One group that fans shouldn't expect though is the Bloodline, as despite being the top stars of SmackDown, it's been reported that Roman Reigns and his allies won't be at the event. This will no doubt come as a letdown for Torontonians hoping to see Roman Reigns, but this is proving to be quite the talking point within WWE. That's according to BWE, who reports that the Bloodline's absence is being seen as a test among the roster to see who will step up in their absence. It'll be interesting to see who makes an impact without the Bloodline around, and who do you want to see step up to the plate? Let us know in the comments. For the past year, there has been a ton of speculation on the future of Randy Orton and whether he will ever compete in the ring again. Orton's ongoing hiatus is the longest amount of time that the Viper has been out with an injury, and what does the future hold for the former WWE World Champion? Prior to SummerSlam, it was reported that WWE had tentative plans for Orton at the event, so much so that he made the trip to Detroit, but as we saw, that event came and went without the Viper. In an update from Fightful Select, it's reported that Orton has a return date in the future, but it certainly won't be this summer. The report adds that though it will be within this calendar year, that is before the end of 2023, so his return will be at max only a few more months away. Orton's name hasn't come up in creative meetings for a long time, but that'll change soon enough, as after close to a year and a half, fans can finally expect to see the Viper back on TV later this year. It's safe to say that WWE's business is booming right now, with several premium live events breaking records, and the company's stock price recently hitting a record $114 per share. In every metric, WWE is doing the best they've been doing in years, and that includes when you compare attendance figures with their all-elite competition. When WrestleTix looked into the 4 major shows of WWE and AEW last week, it was McMahon who was standing comfortably on top, with last Friday's SmackDown bringing in 10,521 fans. Raw wasn't that far behind, with 9,498 fans filling Minneapolis' Target Center, while AEW Collision took a distant third place with 5,166 fans at the Greensboro Coliseum. And for AEW Dynamite, Tony Khan's flagship show, the event in Columbus, Ohio gathered just 4,231 fans, less than half of SmackDown or Monday Night Raw. AEW has prided itself on being an alternative to WWE, but would no doubt love to have attendance figures matching the competition, and we'll have to see how both companies react to these figures. For decades, Vince McMahon has ruled over the wrestling world, at least in the West, with an iron fist, dispatching of countless competitors during his time on the throne. Not even a retirement last year could stop the chairman, who was forced to step away from WWE over the hush money scandal, and now another of wrestling's most infamous names has spoken against Vince McMahon. While speaking on Sportskeeda's The Wrestling Outlaws, Vince Russo spoke about WWE's treatment of women and claimed McMahon is sexist to the division. He said, "They do have it rough, they really do. Been there, done that, saw it. They really have it tough. Vince is a sexist. All the guys who have been there forever, there's a place for the women. No matter what they do, there's a place for them, and that's just the way it is, man." While Russo may have a point, he's hardly innocent in this matter, as his tenure as head writer saw women fighting almost exclusively over men in various liquids such as gravy and pudding. It was only after Russo left WWE that the treatment of women got slightly better, but it'd be a long time before the women's revolution came along. And what do you make of Russo's comments? Let us know in the comments. Now tomorrow will mark 18 months to the day that Cody Rhodes left AEW, and since then, the American Nightmare has been one of the very top stars in WWE. Last month, a Peacock-led documentary went into Cody's life and time both in and out of WWE, which included his role with AEW. Much has been said about the documentary, which includes Triple H calling AEW a secondary promotion, but what do those in AEW think of the doc and Cody's tenure with WWE? On his podcast, Arn Anderson said that he has seen the documentary and is happy for Cody and the success he's enjoyed in WWE, and he isn't alone with this opinion. Arn added that everyone in AEW, including Tony Khan, is happy to see Cody doing so well, and there's no ill will within AEW for Cody leaving in order to pursue his dream. Anderson didn't speak about Triple H's line in the documentary, or what the response by Khan was to what he said, but at least between AEW and Cody, there's no bad blood over his departure. In early 2022, Tammy Sytch was arrested over a traffic accident that resulted in the death of 75-year-old Julian Lasseter. The former Sonny is facing some serious repercussions, including 1 count of DUI manslaughter, along with 1 count of causing death while operating a vehicle with a suspended or revoked driver's license, and there's been an update in her case. Court records reveal that Sytch is scheduled to be in a preliminary docket this Wednesday, ahead of her trial beginning in earnest next Monday on August 21st. Sytch's case is expected to last 1 week, and if found guilty, she's looking at a minimum 4 years behind bars and a maximum 30-year prison sentence. Sytch has always refuted responsibility in the Lasseter case, with claims that his death was caused by a heart attack that happened to come at the same time as the accident, and we'll continue to follow this case for further updates. In 2001, Rob Van Dam made his debut for WWE as part of the Alliance and would work closely on screen with the kayfabe owner of ECW, Stephanie McMahon. This came at an interesting time for Stephanie, as Triple H was out of action recovering from a torn quadricep, and at least on screen, McMahon was ready to move on. During his One of a Kind podcast, RVD recalled working with Stephanie during her on-screen feud with Chris Jericho, and how McMahon wanted Van Dam to be introduced as her on-screen boyfriend. Van Dam was quick to shut the idea down, saying his wife at the time felt insecure about the idea and that he too felt uncomfortable with the storyline. Stephanie tried to sell the idea, reminding RVD that they were just playing characters on screen and weren't actually dating, but the idea was eventually nixed. While Stephanie and RVD would appear on screen together, there was no romance teased between the two, and in the years since, WWE has never returned to this idea for the would-be couple. And we're ending today with Enzo Amore, as the former WWE superstar is set to make his debut for New Japan Pro Wrestling very soon. It's been confirmed that Enzo will be part of the All-Star Junior Festival USA event later this week, teaming with Jack Cartwheel and Starboy Charlie to face Ryusuke Taguchi, Rich Swann, and the DKC. Amore has made appearances for many promotions since his controversial WWE exit, and while it's unlikely we'll ever see him on Raw or SmackDown again, he'll soon be making his presence felt in New Japan. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.